Morning, Pisces. Okay. Felt like dressing up today. So here we go. Alright, welcome to the space if you're new here. And welcome back if you're returning. Just a second. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, you are last on the roster. I don't believe this has happened for quite some time. Thank you for, in relation to, for being patient, right? Having patience. You and Sagittarius are actually 11, they're 11 and you're 12. So, this is Jupiter being last in Venus time, Libra time. You know, you and Sagittarius are kind of like, this is in your map too, don't forget, everybody is every single sign. No one is, some people could be a little bit more of one sign than the other, but everybody's a little bit of all. But it's almost like, remember with you and Sagittarius, and maybe the reading could also be very helpful in a kind of way. You know, some things, they're kind of the same thing, but where you can tell the difference, the place where you can tell the difference is what is like up underneath, or like what's hidden. You gotta look at the part that usually isn't seen to be able to figure out the difference between two things that look the same. And then kind of figure out what made that mark. You know what I mean? Actually, I want to make sure we have quiet and no interruptions.
Calls will not be answered.
Quit it. Just a second. Do not disturb. Do not disturb. Write that down for good measure. Maybe that's something. Do not disturb. And I heard the sleeping giant. Okay. Pisces. Already getting trippy. Always trippy with you. Ooh, doggy. Alright. Clean that up. Good. Let's see what's up with Venus in this time. King of Wands. Well, he's looking down at Jupiter. Let's see. Which is looking at the King of Swords, which does not look very happy. Which is... Okay, hold on. I chose these cards because they're funny. They have funny faces. Do you remember this? We used these cards when we were on the porch. I don't remember when it was. Maybe early summer. Alright, let's go one by one. I feel like that would be helpful. Should we open them all up? No, small bits of information at a time. Alright, in ways of love right now. Oh, and I forgot to mention that. So this is Venus time, right? I'm recording this in Libra season. Libra to you is an adjustment that always needs to be had. Every year, when you get to October, there's something that's going to have to be adjusted. That will probably have to do with your own confidence, love in your heart, your relationships with other people. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is another person. I also feel like this King of Swords is another person. They're both two kings. One of them's happier. Okay, so there's two people here. One of them's happier than the other one for certain. One of them's definitely in a better mood. Easier to talk to. More pure in their passions. I see you don't have to hide away who you are. So there is a loving energy here that's in your life right now that is positive. There is loving energy in your life right now that is positive. I want you to smile about that. And if someone else is in I heard a poo-poo mood. Oh, I forgot that too. There's something with Aquarius with you. Aquarius. You could reference their reading, or I don't know if it's in your map or what, but it's kind of like something. Maybe this is one of those things where you realize in this time too, where you're like, shit, shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? You know, kind of, not exactly a guilt thing, but where you're, because again, there's optimism here, but it's sort of like you're thinking to yourself, well, I could have thought more about that, but you did it anyway. So you got to kind of accept it. Now, if this has to do with just you purely, handle that. If this has to do with another person, I do see that a conversation needs to be had about it. Will people be happy about that? What's this energy? What's he looking at? Don't start something if you're not finished with something else. Don't start something if you're not finished with something else. It's not nice. To that which you're working with. Right, it's think of this as people, this is projects, whatever it is. Because each thing needs to be respected. Right? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe I feel like someone's kind of angry here. Someone's like, what's your deal? I mean, maybe. It's funny. Okay, we gotta get out of this. We gotta get out of these kings. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's look at Saturn. That's always helpful. Okay. Saturn will gives power. Saturn's power is created through action, not through words. I would also say, if for some reason this is you that's upset, like where you're like thinking, again, maybe it's that thing where you're like, I should, like, just whatever truth you're coming to find in your life right now, that's maybe not saying, again, there isn't a lot of love and positivity, and you being in a good mood, that's all there, but there's something over here. Whatever this energy is, how do I explain this? There's such a dual energy. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find the center. Okay, most of the time, to me, when it comes to Pisces, when you have a problem, you have to deal with it right away. If you don't deal with it right away, it goes into some weird world, and then it makes it hard for you to access it later, especially on like how to communicate about it. And then things build up at the bottom, and then you hurt yourself or you hurt other people. No offense. I think all humans do this, but it's strong for you because... And so addressing problems as they happen is better. Anger or frustration in a big way is going to come when something is rug swept too long, or there's too much space in between where, say, like, there needs to be a conversation, but someone's, like, dodging. If someone's dodging, it reminds me of, okay, so your record in September, how to communicate your ideas. I listened to most of them. And yours is awesome, by the way. But one of the parts on there is like where someone had an idea and they approached a person and they were like, hey, I have this idea about this. And they kind of like disregarded them. And so that person left and then they came back again to be like they were kind of busy. So the person left, they came back again and they were like, hey, like I was saying, I have this idea for this and I feel that, and then when it got into this, the person sort of cut him off again and was like, well, sorry, too busy. Hello, like talking, just completely disregarded it. Well, they came back a third time. I can't remember if it was the third or the fourth time. But either way, it got to a point basically where this person then tried again. And maybe it was on the third strike. It was just like got kind of brushed aside or whatever it was, completely disregarded, disrespected, whatever it was. And then was like, on the fourth one, she went in, she's just like, Mr. So-and-so. And he goes, yes, Susan. And she says, I'm giving my notice. I quit. I'll pack my things on Tuesday. I'm out. And he's like, what? Like, didn't understand because this other person didn't give, respect to what someone else's perspective was on it. Interesting. Let's keep moving. Let's look at sun energy. Six of Swords. Okay, so there's something healing in your heart, right? Oh my God, did you see how we just got so soft there? After we made a boundary, then we can go into something that's soft. Soften the mind, soften the words. Good. That King of Swords is so pissed. This King of Swords is less the person that was disregarding. It's more of the person that kept trying, and then finally was just like, fuck it. Yep, Fool. I'm out. Judgment. I'm out. Star. I'm out. Ace of Pentacles. I'm out. Ace of Cups. I'm out because, Sun, I love myself. I respect myself. I ain't putting up with this BS anymore. That's what I see. Good. Respect yourself. Okay. And I suppose, little table turning here, as anyone can be on any side of the table. Remember to also respect other people's ideas if they're approaching you with it. Again, if there's someone who's dodgy and they're not trying to interact and they're not trying to communicate, they're not trying to hear you out, make sure you're not that person either, of course. Okay. So, sun energy. Maybe some of you could be thinking about moving home or traveling to a new place. Maybe this is going to visit family for some of you, or, and I know there's something in the heart here too, that again, it's healing, right? Sometimes Six of Swords can be, it's a card of forward momentum, which is good for this time. But it can also feel like a card where someone almost feels forced to do something, right? Where they're like, well, again, like that example, it's like, well, I tried 1, 2, 3, like I have to do something a person has to do something different then, because if not, it's going to be the same equation. And so it almost feels a little bit forced. But remember, if you're taking initiative to be like, okay, I'm going to get in this boat because, well, I'm going to start paddling towards the shore so that I don't sink. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Okay, awesome. You know that song, No Sugar Tonight in my coffee, no sugar tonight in my tea, no sugar to stand beside me, no sugar to run with me. Dun, 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 dun. That song came up too. You know, there's a difference between laying all the cards on the table and having discretion. Having discretion doesn't equate rug sweeping. You have to have a good balance of what's happening here, right? You don't address all the problems at once. You do one thing at a time. That's why you handle it one thing at a time. Nothing builds up or gets rug swept. Right? You handle one thing at a time. Nothing builds up too much so that everything stays fair. And I do see that someone, if they've been being disrespected, they are like, oof, I wouldn't. Whoever is not being respected right now is that. I actually see that they're kind of angry and they have good reason for that. They have good reason for that. Because you know what? If you don't respect yourself, then you won't be respected by anybody else. You don't love yourself, we can't love anybody else, right? I know it seems so simple, these little cliches. You don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. But lo and behold, that seems to be the case in point all the time. Right? And people fake it all the time, too. They really do. Again, like we said in the beginning, it's not fair to involve... it's not fair for people to involve themselves with something new when they haven't finished the old thing yet. Cancer talked about this, too. You got to put the old thing away to have the new. Right? If you want the new to come to you. And stick around. Okay. I actually see that communication or your whatever's going on with business, with work, I see that it being awesome. Yep. So good. Relations with work, great. Maybe that's the thing is like, there's a little bit, there's something about that. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving forward, right? This cardinal time. Oh my goodness, Sagittarius had the same card in the same place, this Nine of Pentacles. This is to me, this is the Mars section. So you get the same message. Mars talks about action, right? Taking initiative, it's about confidence. Nine of Pentacles is about independence, right? Holding your own financially, emotionally, taking care of your health, taking care of your house, taking care of, I heard, your mouth. It's taking care of your pets. It is, it's applying your lessons physically, like whatever has been happening internally. You've been practicing with yourself. This card is about learning about the self, right? So For some, it would be emphasizing that and digging in there. I see in addition, it could also very well be that someone is ready to open up into new spaces that have to do with new relations with other people. Because sometimes in Nine of Pentacles, it's a Virgo energy to me, so it's very insular, right? She's usually solo and spending a lot of time by herself. This is asking you, for some of you also, to come out of your shell and to do something different, right? You gotta put yourself out there if you want something to happen. You know, maybe for some of you, just gotta stop thinking about the past so much. It goes back into that Aquarius energy. What do you know in your heart about love? Let's look at the moon. Ooh, the Seeker. Interesting. There's this extra card in this deck. It's a real weird card. I feel like this is what's at the bottom of the ocean. What does this say? Eros. The game. Oh, I saw the game of love. But it's the garden of love. There's a big difference between a game and a garden. Right? A game is where one person wins and one person loses. I mean, I suppose it's all practice, but most people take it that way, right? A garden is where people can work together, grow together, and then, God willing, right, inshallah, then you have a good harvest and you have something that can sustain you through the seasons. Much different garden. The difference between a garden, a game and a garden. The difference betwixt a game and a garden. You're always so poetic, you know? You're a good writer, too. Have you been writing? Maybe that's a way for you to... I don't know, maybe there's a character, maybe that's a way that you want to try to figure out what's going on with life or you. It's like, you have different personalities, right? Everybody does. Like, for instance, when a person is like really passionate and turned on, they're a certain kind of person. You know, when they're sad and bummed out, they're a different kind of person. When someone's real fucking angry, that's a different kind of person. So, what's your character's name when they're pissed? When you're fed up, what's their name? Who do they remind you of? Very interesting, these readings today. I just heard like just What's funny to you? When's the last time you laughed? When's the last time you slept well? Like really rested? Really, really rested? Where you woke up and you were like, oh my God, that was such a deep sleep. You know, didn't dream, wasn't all distracted. You like just went into a place and woke up and felt replenished. When's the last time that happened? When's the last time you had a really intimate conversation with a person about how you feel? When's the last time you felt like you could trust someone emotionally Let's see about the Seeker card. This is supposed to be the moon. Maybe that's what we just talked about. Actually, you know what? I want to look at the Sun and the Six of Swords. This is about, because this card represents the most movement. You do also have, the one technical major here is Justice, which is Libra's energy. But the Six of Swords is about forward momentum. And again, you want to focus here because this is, it sits in the Devil. You got to row your boat, but not gently down the stream. This is row your fucking boat so you don't sink. If you're in a situation that is unhealthy, get out. Okay? You have to have more confidence in yourself. For some of you, this is about trust. Well, I guess this is overall. It doesn't matter male or female. It's also about trusting men. Trusting, like, I don't know, forgiving your father. It's healing through addictions. It is recognizing what's healthy or not. You know, hear no evil, see no evil. You know, last few years, everybody covering their mouth, not saying nothing. Everybody just hide. I didn't hear that. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. It's like that kind of ignoring. That's not courageous. You know, sometimes love is the most loving thing to do is to speak the truth. Don't like that card. Just a second. Four of Cups. There needs to be more effort put into something. High Priestess. There needs to be more effort put into something. If you want to if you're dealing with the devil, or if there's any kind of this, right? This is sun energy. Again, then we have Saturn energy, which is restricting that light. I keep seeing someone being like, all casual, like just casually sort of chilling in the boat. Like letting it float wherever. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, my feet are wet. Someone got the feet wet. And it was no big deal. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, wait, this is filling up with water. It's too much going on. Someone's got to paddle faster. But it's just to reach the land so that then one can process, put your feet on the ground so that one can feel more secure and then be able to process something. You know, maybe for some this is healing a level of, again, like complacency or ignorance. You know what I mean? Again, like, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. Please remember, every person, well, how do I say this? You can't believe everything that you read. But you better believe that people are always showing you who they are. You know, say you're a woman and you're talking to somebody, and the way they talk about other females, especially like, say, whatever you're looking for. See, the way someone talks about their ex, the way someone talks about women, you're a woman. The way women talk about men, you're a man. Like, pay attention. Pay attention. You know, someone's always talking about the past. Goodness gracious. You know, 20, 30 years ago, it always goes back to that. You hang out with them long enough and you're like, wow, when was that? When was that? When you were 21? You're 50 now. It's like, believe that people are always showing you what's going on so that you don't have to be confused about what's happening. You know, you can feel, more secure in yourself. The moon is wanting you to seek something that's uncomfortable. And I don't know, maybe you got to get mad at yourself. Maybe you got to, I don't know, somebody's mad. It's this King of Swords. What's he about? Tower. Holy smokes. It's like someone knows something, and that's why they're angry. Like someone's lied to somebody or something like that. This King of Swords is sharp as a whip. So aware, so clear, right? And it's like, really? Because it's almost like, I think the reason why this King of Swords is upset is because I feel like he went more into the fire, where he like opened up and shared something, right? Something, it's like, very interesting, Pisces. Maybe this is just about trust. I don't know. And it does have to, there is something sexual here too. Didn't we talk about this? It was a very positive reading. And I'm not saying this isn't, everything comes in different packages, but like that reading we talked about where it's just like, when's the last time you had sex? Like, do you have like any built up energy there? Like, is there the intimacy factor? Like, how do you feel about love? Again, honesty, right? Again, Libra is justice. Because it's almost like if you're the high priestess, then you know the truth inside of you. But when you get to Libra, Libra's like, okay, the truth is inside of me, but now it has to be communicated out loud. Huh. If anybody's been hiding anything, maybe it's like when people get cheated on or something. Or again, someone opens up where they've been really closed. And then all of a sudden it's like, you thought, again, it goes back to that thing where it's just like, why did I do that? You know, maybe that's a conversation you just have to have. It could have to do with presently. It could have to do with deep in the past. I don't know. It's up to you. With the devil here, it could be any point in time. With justice here, it could be any point in time. So you have to figure out what that is. Saturn's also saying that, like, it would be good to be abstinent at this time. I would definitely not, yeah. Like, who you're involving yourself with intimately, you got to know who to trust or not. And again, respect yourself. I would also say, in relation to home, if there, which is comfort, right? It's security, home. If there's anything that's toxic about that you gotta move out of that space. Okay? And I guess even once you reach the shore, if you're the one that's in the boat or whatever, and you got to paddle, once you reach the shore, you do have to battle something. It's kind of like you won't be able to ignore it, you know? No. You'll have to face a fear about it. You won't be able to, again, like, you won't be able to ignore it. And you know what? Remember with Libra time too, and your reading's a little longer. Remember with Libra time too, there's going to be beautiful, loving, positive, amazing parts of our life and our relationships to ourselves, to others, to God. But as Libra is a dual sign, there is also, again, this is a time of great adjustment. Sometimes, especially Mars and Taurus, that's right here. That's throat chakra. Even if you want to see it in a Gemini, it doesn't matter. That's still Mars in communication. And so excuse me if this is a little fast. But the point is that, sometimes hard conversations need to happen. And if it happens to go that way and everything's just like, well, fuck it, explodo. And say it's like a tower kind of energy and something's pushed out. Well, that's only, remember, the devil comes before the tower, so something was unhealthy there anyway. Something was toxic there anyway, and all it did was protect you. And maybe for some of you, this has to do with the past in relation to love or trust or whatever, But don't be afraid to have a conversation. I mean, try to approach it from a loving way. But sometimes things got to get a little bit heated or real raw, right? Again, Pisces is very soft and doesn't like conflict, and neither does Libra. But you mix these two together and you're going to have to get really real, because if there are any illusions or delusions in this time, it's going to show itself, or you're going to remember something, or you're going to realize something. This is what's going to happen. And if someone has the courage to speak up for themselves, right? Like that example we gave earlier, you go 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Be like, I quit. I'm not. No, you're not allowed to treat me like that. Oh, wait. I can't wink with my right eye. Lovers. And strength. And the 2 of Cups. Okay? Reinforce your positive relationships. Give love to each other. That which you're having any kind of challenge or difficulty. Well, obviously, there's some kind of conversation needs to be had. I do see that being a really intense conversation, though. And again, maybe somebody doesn't like it, but too bad. So sad. I guess no sugar tonight in your coffee. Row, row, row your boat. Because life isn't a dream. It's reality, right here, right now. When you're sleeping, sure, dream. When we die, maybe we dream. I don't know. But right here, right now, it's practical. This is real life. Don't you want it to be the best? Versus a mess? What's going on, Pisces? All right, that's enough. Thank you so much for being here. Beetlejuice was lined up with Mars today. I told Pisces or Sagittarius this too. It reminds me of that movie. I don't know. Maybe you want to watch the movie. I don't know. Something about that. Those sand snakes, right? You can't go outside the house or there's all those sand snakes. Can only go in Beetlejuice, you can only go into the place where things are dead. You can stay in the house or you can go into places where things are dead. But that's there must be a teleportation machine in there. There's that King of Swords in the tower. I mean, I guess if you don't want something to explode out, not that you shouldn't stick up for yourself, but if you don't want something to explode out and this is you, then I'd maybe hold your tongue. But the thing is I feel like someone needs to stick up for themselves, so maybe that's the lesson. Someone needs to figure out how to communicate. You know what I mean? Be honest. Okay, I love you so much. Please take care. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.